Veritas Files here, part 2 of the Bug Out Bag series. I think we left off with two-way radios. I would have a set of binoculars with me, waterproof fog-proof binoculars are best. You need to be able to see what's in front of you if you're coming upon a town or a house or roadway, woods, whatever's coming up ahead of you. You need to be able to see it before you get there. Maybe something waiting for you, and you don't need to be taken by surprise, and you really don't want to take other people by surprise either, if you can help it. You need matches. You know, there are several companies that make little match boxes that have rubber seals on them. I would get a hold of one of those and stuff them full of windproof matches. You can do the same thing with kitchen matches. You just put some wax on the end. It's no big deal. But I would definitely have some in your bag. You may not have to use them, but chances are, you know, if you're out there long enough, you will. I would also have a fire starter of some kind beyond the matches. Say a Swedish fire steel, magnesium fire starter, blast match, something like that. All those things can be Googled. You can buy most of them off of Amazon, I think, so, or get them at Walmart for that matter. Dick's Sporting Goods has them. You know, they're available everywhere. I'd probably have a Bic lighter. Can't let the flint of a Bic lighter get wet, so if you do that, put it in a Ziploc type bag. And, you know, for that matter, anything you have in your bag, say maps of your area or state, make sure they're in a Ziploc bag or something like that so that they don't get wet if your bag happens to fall into a creek or whatever. You know, you need to keep that stuff safe. And that goes for your electronics too. It does you no good to have a radio or anything else that requires batteries or electricity if it's going to get wet. Having said that, I would have a crank radio. Eton Microlink is a pretty good one. But there's a bunch of them out there. Use your best judgment. Candle lantern. Some people say this is necessary, some people say it's not. Yuko makes a cheap one. You can get beeswax candles for it, so the candles will last about 11 to 12 hours. And in my experience, in a bug-out bag, it's not necessary, especially if you have flashlights and whatnot, crank powered, whatever. But it can come in handy if you're going to be out there for some time, particularly if you're not comfortable, you know, being in the dark for a long period of time, and you don't want to use up your battery power. Having one of those laying beside you can give you a sense of security, so you might consider it. In addition, the candles that you stockpile for the candle lantern can be given away to neighbors and friends who may need candles later, and we may go over that at some point. I have a Help Thy Neighbor plan, and that would definitely be involved, the giving of things like candles. You need a first aid kit, and I don't mean some hokey little plastic piece from Walmart. You need a serious first aid kit. At some point I may go through the contents of a first aid kit as well. We'll just have to see. Hand sanitizer or hand sanitizing wipes, good thing to have. Earplugs, good thing to have, especially if you're going to be firing your weapon. Spur of the moment, yeah, it's okay to fire without any ear protection, eye protection and whatnot, but if you've got the opportunity to protect your eyes and ears, do so. Water filtration. For those of you who don't realize that water is your primary need, you need to figure that out right now. When you put together a bug out bag, if you don't have a way to filter water, you're in trouble. Okay? There's many ways you can filter water. There's many ways you can make water safe. Having a metal cup by itself is a lifesaver. That's also something I would recommend. But having a way to get chemicals and bacteria and all the little spores and protozoa and everything that's in the water, it's a great idea. Aquamira makes a filter straw. Highly recommend it. You can make your own filter. You might look online as to how to do that. It's a good idea to have that knowledge anyway, just for your home use. Oh, let's see here. You know, there's not a lot more that I would recommend, except that in your first aid kit you need to have your medicines and any over-the-counter medications you take as well. Man, I can't think of anything beyond what I've already told you about that is vital to having in a bag. You might consider buying a .22 rifle, either AR-7 collapsible 22 or something like the Marlin Papoose. They're good pack rifles. You can bring down a lot of game with those. They're fairly accurate. Again, just food, water, basic supply, 3 days at least, and then a way to procure more of that in the future. Other people might tell you that you need to have a telescoping fishing pole and all kinds of different things, bow and arrow and all kinds of nonsense, but I wouldn't tell you that. The only other thing I can think of that I might add to a bag would be a multi-purpose pry bar in case you need to get into a house or out of someplace in a hurry. Not only can it be used as both an offensive and defensive weapon, but again, you can open a door with that pretty much no matter what kind of door it is, apart from something that's steel. I think that's about it. I hope this has been helpful, folks. Again, I'm not going to try to set myself up as the end-all, be-all authority on 72-hour bags, but I do have a significant amount of experience with them, and I hope you'll really consider putting some of these together. You should have one for every car that you own. You might want to consider having one at work. And definitely have one in your home. At a later time, I may do, I probably will do one for an expanded one for your in-home shelter kit. But, not there yet, so whenever I have some time, I'll sit down and go ahead and do that. Anyway, I appreciate you listening. Leave comments below. Thanks a lot.